love talking about trends here on Studio 13 Live, and today is no different. Grandma hobbies are on the rise, with people online sharing their favorite crafty activities, and it turns out they have health benefits too. So here to talk all about them is family medicine doctor for Kaiser Permanente, Northgate Medical Center, Scott Itano. Welcome back, friend.
Good to be back, Carly.
Good to see you. So for starters, what are grandma hobbies?
Grandma hobbies are any of those hobbies that we think of that use our hands, typically a little slower and very creative. So think of things like knitting, baking, gardening, crafting. Those are all things we consider to be grandma hobbies. Additionally, they're classically associated with the older generation and not using technology, so hence the term grandma hobbies. And during the pandemic, these got really popular. Everyone was making sourdough bread or something like that. I also want to modernize them for the 21st century. So I grew up with a single mom. She did all of these things, so I learned how to do them too, and I still love to bake and garden. I know how to work the needles.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like knitting?
Knitting, crocheting, all that stuff.
I like that. I feel like you need to drop that into your conversation more. I know how to work the needles.
Yeah. I'll think about it. So.
Okay. Tell us about some of the benefits of grandma hobbies.
There are a ton of benefits to grandma hobbies. So when you're doing these hobbies, it just allows us to slow down, focus, take a break from the day, and it really makes us put down our phones. And anything with less screen time is good for our health, because when you have less screen time, it improves your sleep, since screens decrease your body's production of melatonin and will cause worse sleep. On top of that, when you have less screen time, you will have better mental health. So we know that you'll have lower rates of depression and social isolation. And then lastly, less screen time helps with our physical health. So people will have lower rates of obesity and more likely to be engaged in physical activity.
You know, I feel like we all know we should have less screen time, but just like cutting it out without something to replace it with can be really challenging. So I feel like you're giving us some good options here with these grandma hobbies. Let's talk about the working with your hands of it all. Are there specific reasons that it's good to work with your hands?
There are absolutely therapeutic health benefits to working with your hands. So think of something like quilting or sewing. You are so focused and in the moment that you can't think of anything else. And that is something we call flow state. So it's when we are just present in the moment. Time flies by, we're not getting pulled in 10,000 different directions, and that's a good thing for us because it allows our brain time to de-stress. We're not getting overwhelmed by all these thoughts coming into our brain, and so it's an active form of mindfulness and stress management.
I like that. Are there any age groups in particular that you would recommend take part in grandma hobbies?
Even though they're called grandma hobbies, they're good for any age. So whether you're a kid or a teenager, an adult or a senior, this is something where if you love it and you enjoy it, you should be doing. And I also want to make a pitch too. These are not just for women. So even though they're called grandma hobbies, you know, I love them. And so I think regardless of gender, you should enjoy them. So, you know, we might also call them grandpa hobbies too.
Yeah, I like that. And talk about the impact on mental health that these grandma hobbies have.
So we know there's proven benefits for mental health too. And that's because it just lowers our stress levels, lowers our heart rate, and improves mood overall. There's a recent study showing that when you're engaged in these creative art activities, it does improve your mental health.
Okay, and then finally, how can people make sure they get the most out of these activities?
I have 3 top tips and takeaways for getting the most out of these grandma hobbies. And the first is put the phone down. So like I said earlier, when you put your phone down, you're going to maximize those health benefits. You're going to improve your sleep. You're going to improve your mental health, and you're going to improve your physical health. Secondly, just get engaged in these hobbies and that working with your hands and being focused in the moment. Get into flow state. And again, flow state is an active form of mindfulness or meditation, and it's going to help decrease your stress levels overall. And then lastly, really, I always encourage people, find something that you love. When you do hobbies or activities that you love, it's always going to help increase the likelihood that you're going to be happy and improve your health overall.
I love it. You know, my grandma loves to play Sudoku, which I've picked up from her too. I think it's so much fun. And she plays cards a lot too.
Yeah,
so
and it's a bonding social activity. That's always good for your health.
Yeah, I love it. Scott Itano, thank you so much for coming in, giving us the benefits of grandma hobbies. We'll catch up with you soon.